Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra with me, Shel Patnagar, and this is Market Today, a show where we'll help you understand the closing action on the D Street. About a 93 points of an uptick is what you can see on the Nifty, 23,357. But it's the Nifty Bank that is hovering still about 200 points higher, about half odd percent higher in trade. Among the sectors, barring the realty and the FMCG space, rest of the spaces are actually up into the green, with the media, PSU banks, small caps, oil and gas, mid caps. This is the pocket which is garnering all the investors' attention. On the Nifty, it's the power space that's making a comeback. Power Grid is the top mover, 2.8% higher. Coal India is up by 2.8% again. You have Eicher Motors, SBI Life, Shriram Finance. These are the other buzzers in trade as well, and the PSU stocks are also doing well, Shell.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's actually it's turning out to be an unusual day. I remember we were looking for flat trade, but a lot of activity, especially in the stocks that you happen. And what's really interesting is that, again, for the third time in 3 successive days, we've been pushed down. So 23,441 is an intraday high, as also a record high. And from then on, you have about a 95 point downtick from the peak, as also the Bank Nifty. Weekly expiry today, and again 50,250 is the intraday peak. From then on, a bit of profit booking. It's one of those things that the market lacks the required buying momentum to go beyond 23,400 and 50,000 on the Nifty Bank, mainly because we've seen a very sharp rally all of last week. So consolidative moves happening, and in any case the evening is bristling with events. You have the India CPI May print to come in at 5 p.m. and of course in the US you have all sorts of events. You have May's inflation, which is supposed to be 0.1% versus 0.3 in April, and of course the FOMC meet, whose impact will be felt on the weekly expiry of the Nifty tomorrow. But point taken, very strong move coming in the power sector, whether it's a power financing arm of the company, the power producers, or the power consumers. That's mainly because actually peak power demand has hit an all-time high of 250 gigawatts in May 2024. That's the data that was released fairly recently. It's a 13% rise over May 2023. And the peak demand in FY24 has already exceeded 243 gigawatts, which is higher than the September peak of 2023 of about 234. So all around power consumption, especially in North India, especially in Noida, especially in Delhi, is at a record high, and that's the reason why you see Power Grid, PFC, REC, Coal India, NTPC, Tata Power, JSW Energy, Adani Power, all of them in thick trade. 2 more indices I'd like to mention, the Nifty Mid Cap and the Nifty Small Cap. They are doing better than the Nifty itself. Small Cap Index is up 1.2%, Mid Cap Index is up 1%, and both have 100 shares each. 76 small caps are up versus 24 down, and 67 mid caps are up versus 33 that are down. So all is well on the world of the Lal Street, Sakshi. I just wish we have a close above 23,400.
Yes, hopefully that should happen. Let's ask, in fact, our guest of the day whether that will be possible or not. Santosh Meena, Head of Research, Swastika InvestSmart, is now joining in. A warm welcome to you, Santosh, and thank you so much for taking the time out. Good times are back on the D Street, seems like. How do you see the markets headed?
Yeah, good afternoon, Sakshi. Good afternoon, Salji. So yes, market is hovering around 23,400 level for last couple of days. But yes, at lower level we are seeing buying, at higher level we are seeing some profit booking. But there is a lot of action in individual pockets. Like you can see today, we are seeing action in power. Apart from that, lot of NBFC stocks are doing well. FIs are covering their shorts and building fresh long position, and they still have around 1 lakh short contracts. So there is still room for further short covering rally. Once Nifty will sustain about 23,400 level, then we can expect a rally towards 23,700. And I think Bank Nifty can lead from here. If FIs buying will resume from here, then the large private banks and NBFC stocks may outperform from here. So look for Bank Nifty. If it manages to sustain above 50,000 level decisively, then we can expect a rally towards 51,000 marks. So view is bullish, data is bullish. Yes, market is consolidating and preparing for itself for a next leg of rally.
Okay. So, Santosh, where in this bullish view are you going to be investing in? Where is your comfort zone?
Uh, yes, as I said, if FI's buying will resume, then I think banking stocks may outperform from here. And today we saw a upgrade in IndusInd Bank. So focus on IndusInd Bank as well. It is forming a falling wedge formation. Once it will come above 1500 mark, then we can expect a rally towards 1500 level. And from the NBFC space, I like Chola Finance. It is outperforming, and today it is at all-time high. I think this momentum is likely to continue towards 1400, 1440 levels. So you can buy Chola Finance with a stop loss of 1350 for the target of 1400 and 1440. And from the banks, I like IndusInd Bank, even Axis, HDFC Bank can also do well.
Okay.
These are the two reports. These are the two stocks that Santosh has in mind.
Citi.
Sakshi, wasn't there a report on IndusInd Bank?
Yes, there was a Citi report on IndusInd Bank which gave a buy rating on IndusInd Bank with a target price of 2010. They did say that after the management meet, some of the key takeaways for them were that deposits are going to be gathering pace. The estimated liability growth is going to be about 16 to 18%. NIM guidance is about 4.2 to 4.3 odd percent, which is favorably positioned when the interest rate cycle also turns from going forward from here. So those are the key details on the back of which Citi was positive on IndusInd Bank and gave 2010 kind of targets, and right now the stock is at 1484, so considerable upside from the current levels as well.
Let's focus on another sector which is doing extremely well, and the tailwind there is very strong dispatches in the month of May. I am talking about the auto space. Look at Tata Motors, look at Ashok Leyland, look at Maruti, and look at the two-wheeler stocks. 4 digits on Tata Motors, it's consolidating. Remember, the all-time high is 1056. It's about there. Sakshi, in the month of May, dispatches to dealers have hit a record 3,47,000 vehicles compared with the previous May 2023. I think the number was 3,37,000. So these are the sectors that need to keep an eye on, and therefore the auto ancillary space is also buzzing. A couple of stocks we need to mark in the capital goods space. Sakshi, remember HDFC Manufacturing Fund raised 9,000 crore rupees in an NFO floated in May, and capital goods have shot through the roof. Elecon Engineering record high, 13% higher, 1329. Kirloskar Brothers, Kirloskar Pneumatic, 8 and 4% up respectively. Sugar ancillaries are rising more than sugar stock. Therefore, ISJEC, which is erstwhile Saraswati Syndicate, 1217, 7.5% higher, and Praj Industries 3.3% higher. There are so many stocks hitting 5% in the entire cap good space, like GE Transmission and Distribution, TVS Supply Chain, Transformers and Rectifiers, Siemens Power India, ABB, SKF India. We track 38, and out of 38, I believe, I think all of them are in the green today. No, 3 of them are in the red. Solar, SW Solar, and of course Shakti Pumps, but that was up 5% yesterday, and a mild downtick in Lakshmi Machine Works. Santoshji, would you have a view on Elecon Engineering?
Yes, LG, entire capital stocks, capital good space is buzzing, and Elecon Engineering. I think this momentum is likely to continue because we are seeing a fresh break. So on the upside, 1400 is an immediate target. Once it will sustain above 1400, we can expect a level of 1500. Now the level of 1200 will act as a strong support level. So stay invested in this counter. If you are trading, then trail your stop losses and keep a target of 1400, 1440 in the near term.
Fair point. This is what is happening, Sakshi, and I have an unusual stock to mark in the top traded counters. Remember, we may be having a green tick on the Nifty, but today is not a day of volumes. You have muted trade happening. The top traded counter is HDFC Bank. Just 1900, just 2000 crores worth of transactions happened, and we are now just left with 14 45 minutes of trade left. Let me just point out some winners. You also have Reliance Industries and its Idea Cellular, which is the third most active traded counter, up about 1%. It's the entire telecom space that is buzzing, and these are the ones that are gathering attention. Yes, Idea Cellular is the second most traded counter, 1500 crores. Tata Motors, I have mentioned the tailwind, is the third most active counter at about 4400 crore rupees, and of course, my apologies, 1400 crore rupees, and of course then you have the usual suspects, ICICI, Axis Bank, so on and so forth. Interesting, Titagarh wagon, Sakshi, in the top traded counters, 5% higher, 1424, and of course a record high on Jupiter wagons, and what's also moving is Tex Rail. So the railway theme is alive, kicking and gathering momentum.
Okay, railway theme is back in action. Let's ask Santosh if he has any preferences within the railways pack, especially because Santosh, we're just about a month away from the budget, and always we have seen that it's the railway space that gathers attention, garners a lot of investors, attention during this 1 month period ahead of the budget, in hopes of there'll be higher allocation for the modernization of railways, and that is already in the 100 days agenda of Modi Sarkar as well. Where exactly are you keeping your focus? Where are you investing afresh despite the recent run-up?
Yes, actually, we have seen a long run-up in most of the railway stocks, but still I am looking a counter where is a margin of safety. Container Corporation, fundamentally is a sound company and valuations comfort is there, and there is a high probability of privatization of these companies, and the structure is bullish, so you can look for Container Corporation. On immediate basis, 1180 could be a hurdle, but once it will cross 1180, we can expect a move towards 1250, 1300 kind of level. On the downside, 1080 to 1100 will act as a support zone. So any consolidation or dip will be a good buying opportunity. If you want to play any stock for the budget, Container Corporation could be a good bet.
Okay, Concor could be a good bet. We have been continuously seeing how Concor has been in the thick of action over the last few odd trading sessions as well, and again it's back in move too. Apart from this, within the broader markets, I could also spot one more interesting stock. Remember, we were discussing the tourism related counters, hotels in the morning when Gaurang said that this is the space within the mid and the small caps that he'll be looking at. ITDC, after a long haul, is making a sharp move. I think it's up 16% in trade today. India Tourism Development Corporation, Tourism Finance Corporation also up by about 3.5%. So it's the entire tourism related space that seems to be in the thick of action. Of course, it's summer vacations, people wanting to travel as well. Santosh, what are you really looking at within the tourism basket?
Yes, beautiful chart of the ITDC, and after a period of long consolidation, it is coming out of a symmetrical triangle formation, and it is likely to resume its bullish momentum. I won't be surprised it can head towards 1000 kind of level in the near term, and it is another candidate of privatization. So this is another budget theme. You can buy this counter, keep a stop loss of 690 on immediate basis. The target will be 880, and there is a high probability it can see a level of 1000 rupees in coming days.
Sakshi, remember we had Gaurang in the morning, and he had talked about two stocks, Canfin Homes and LIC Housing Finance.
Yes.
Canfin has changed a digit. I believe this will be heading towards a record high, because the rally on Canfin yesterday was also dramatically smart, 2.5% higher. Yesterday it was up 4%. Even LIC Housing Finance is buzzing. And newly listed companies like Awas Finances, Aadhar Housing and Home First Housing, all of them are showing strong traction. This is the tailwind that we are seeing for the 3 crore housing units that the government of India has decided to set up over the next 5 years for the electorate, and a strong move across the board coming into particularly government-based home finances. Can we also see GIC Housing? Maybe that's also buzzing. These three stocks generally move in tandem: PNB Housing, Canfin Housing, and GIC Housing. So that's another sector that's buzzing, see 2.3% higher, as also a wide variety of stocks. Nifty now possibly moving towards 23,400. Let's see, 378 for you, 113 point uptick on the index, a 250 point upticks on Nifty Bank. This is the weekly expiry day. Actually, for those who are into options, a note of caution. I'm of course very clear, you would know Monday is a holiday, so there is one less trading day in the next week. Therefore, options premia would be scrunched, and there would be how should I say, the time decay would be over 4 days instead of the usual 5. So please keep that in mind. As also Sakshi, new highs. This is something that is really interesting. Lots of quality names. We've discussed Elecon, we discussed JWL every day. Federal Bank, now this is interesting. Trent has its annual general meeting today, so lots of announcements coming in. Fresh record high. Excite Batteries 542. I think there will be a digit change in Bajaj Auto. 9900 is already there, so we're waiting for 5 digits there. And of course Bharti Airtel is a regular there, as also is a newly minted stock which we discussed yesterday, Natco Pharma. So these are the new highs, Sakshi. What are you watching?
Cement space,
Yes.
it's in the thick of action. You were talking about the housing finance companies, but since the time Modi government has given that approval of affordable housing projects of 3 crore additional houses, we've been seeing the entire construction, housing finance, cement, allied sectors, all of them moving in tandem. So you saw ACC, look at Ambuja, it's up by 5.5% now at 673, a strong spike coming in on that one. Apart from this, Ultratech, Sri Cement, India Cement, Dalmia Bharat, all of them are up and about. Heidelberg Cement, Sagar Cement, you name it, all the counters are up and about in trade right now. We'll ask you, Santosh, to give us your view within this entire pack which is moving in tandem. And we all know that when housing projects are announced, when realty gets a fillip, it will be the allied sectors which will get into huge demand. Of course, cement will be a big component. But how does one decide the top 2 or 3 counters to pick up from this sector?
Yes, I will stick with the large cap name Ultratech Cement. Beautiful structure. It is coming out of a channel formation, and if there will be buying of FIs, then it will outperform. So this will be the safest bet. Or immediately we can expect a target of 12,000 on the downside. I think now 10,700 should act as strong support level. So stay with leader. It may outperform from here.
Okay, Sakshi, I have the answer to your query. Anything that's Andhra based, buy. Amravati will come up.
Yeah.
A new capital.
Andhra Cement.
Yes. That's the logic. That's all you need. Geography is better than financial markets. Look at how, stocks like Heritage Foods, which was that battery maker? ARE.
Amara Raja Energy.
Amara Raja is moving. As also, stocks such as KCP.
GMR Airports Infra, you said.
Cement, Hawai Jahaz, sab chal raha hai. I think GMR has a very strong volume show even today. Yesterday it went up to 92, 93, and strong volumes coming in today. So these are long-term bets. There are, Sakshi, just 2 listed airport companies. You can either buy Adani Enterprises or you can buy GMR Infra. You can actually buy both also.
Yeah.
But like I said, our viewers and across the board, people prefer low ticket, high beta. Santosh ji, what are GMR Infra's long-term charts telling you?
Yes, LG, I am also waiting for a long time it to cross 94 level. Once it will cross 94 level, I believe it will trade in three digit, and I don't think it should come down once again below 90 level. So the structure is very bullish. Just we are waiting to break out 94 level. So view is bullish. Just it is consolidating, and you can buy at current level. But if it crosses 94 level, you can add more position in this counter, because my target is 130 in next 6 months.
Okay, so that's true for GMR Infra. And of course, it will be very interesting to find out, all those companies which are construction companies which are associated with the constructing Amravati, the new capital. Yesterday, one construction company, HCC, hit a 20% circuit because of a research report from a very well-known brokerage, Elara Capital, that pointed to a target of about 66, still up 5.2 today. This is after yesterday's 20% uptick. Very strong volume coming here. And in case you are wondering, why there is this a rupee 1 paisa change these days, this is a new facility which is launched by the National Stock Exchange, where you get a 1 paisa interval now. So you will see it changing by even 1 paisa. Earlier this was 5 paisa. This is for stocks below 250 rupees, and it allows you to fine tune your purchases as well. So there's nothing extraordinary happening, but the price tick is now 1 paisa. Sakshi.
Absolutely. So that's the view coming in as far as some of these infra-focused stocks are concerned. How about the latest pick that even Shell highlighted in the morning and even yesterday, sugar space? Are you looking at that, Santosh? And are you also interested in any of the stocks right ahead of the budget? Maybe some ethanol-based news will come in?
Yes, I am tracking the sugar space, and I think this the momentum is strong, and it is likely to continue until budget. So my top pick will be the strongest counter, fundamentally a sound company.
Which company? I think we missed that name.
Sorry, Triveni Engineering. So
Triveni.
yeah, structure is bullish. There is a breakout of channel formation. On immediate basis, there is some kind of hurdle around 375 level. But once it will cross 375 level, we can expect a level of 400. And if you want to buy a small ticket size counter, so Bajaj Hindustan Sugar, it is also showing a strong bullish momentum. I can because there is a symmetrical triangle breakout with a high volume. So you can buy if you are an aggressive trader or investor. Keep a stop loss of 33. Target will be 50 rupees.
So second day on the trot, we have sweetness being added to record highs. Sakshi, very simple exercise. List, go to any equity tracker or a screener, list sugar companies. There are 36, we track 22, the ones that make sense. And do this very simple exercise. Market cap, sales, PE, and of course profit. So if there is a sugar company that is making profit, is in a single digit PE, and its market capitalization is less than sales, it's a no-brainer, because this is an under-owned, undervalued sector at a time when the market is at a record high. We have the agri theme playing out till the budget. Monsoon is good, and more importantly, bina chini ke kaam nahi chalta. So every single tailwind that could possibly be in your favor is this. Actually, a lot of these stocks are down 30-40% from their peaks.
Yeah.
And this is the time to get in. More importantly, Maharashtra goes to state elections later this year.
Yeah.
It has the maximum number of sugar mills and the maximum number of farmers dependent on sugar. So this industry will be made happy. Plus the ethanol kicker. That's the reason why you see Praj Industries doing so well. Sakshi.
Absolutely. Now let's again look at some of the other big movers that I can spot right now. Within the small cap space, let's look at, because it's the small cap index that's doing very well in trade, 1.3% higher. Nippon Life Asset Management is up by 6%. You have Trident up by 5.5%. You have CAMS that's up by 5.3%. It's coming back in action. Tanla Platforms was highlighted by Shell earlier this morning. I think CIE Automotive was a stock that Gaurang also pointed out. It's now up by 4%. In trade today itself, we had mentioned, we've discussed Praj in the morning too. Reddington is coming back, 3.5% higher. Awas Financiers again with the entire flow of housing finance companies is back in action. IEX within the power space is also up and about. HFCL, the telecom space, is again buzzing in space. So lots of sectors and various other stocks. So I'm purposely highlighting, it's a broad based kind of a move that we are seeing within the small caps. It's not just one particular sector that's gaining all the traction right now. Santosh, to you, which telecom space stocks are you keeping an eye out on right ahead of the Spectrum auction, which is slated for June 25?
Yeah, for me, Bharti Airtel is still strongest counter because there is a flag formation on hourly chart and it is moving in absolute formation. So on immediate basis, the target of 1465 we can expect. On the downside, the support will be 1420. So stay with Bharti Airtel. Momentum is strong, and we can expect a target 1465.
Actually, you mentioned Nippon India
Yeah.
AMC. All AMC stocks are up.
Okay.
So HDFC AMC is up 5%. NAM you marked. Aditya Birla Sun Life AMC is up 3%. UTI AMC is also up about 1%. You mentioned CAMS. Look at KFinTech. This is the entire mutual fund universe. Because of 34,000 crore rupees that have come in the month of May as planned SIPs or new FFOs. So all these, the entire universe is doing phenomenally well. I think there's a record high on HDFC AMC, if I'm not wrong. Now in 4 digits, my apologies, it's already in 4 digits, but there's a change of digit to 4,000. So that's the tailwind. And there is another company called Prudent Advisory. This is a very well-known advisor of mutual funds based out of Ahmedabad. We've interviewed the gentleman. It's a listed stock in any case. Look at that. And of course, Anand Rathi Wealth. How can we forget that one? So this is a set of 7-8 stocks that are doing phenomenally well in trade today. In fact, there was a record high on Prudent Advisory in the morning, 1800 something. It slipped a bit, but this is the entire, how should I say, the back end of mutual funds, and of course the service providers that are doing phenomenally well. Sakshi.
Right. One more stock that we have not checked through this day, but it's really buzzing, is 197 Communications or Paytm share. It's up by 7% in trade today. Sharp move that can be seen. In fact, just about a day or so ago, it crossed the 400 mark after about 2 or 3 weeks, and it's again holding up 405 odd levels that can be seen. 6.5% higher, strong volumes over the last few minutes as well. Santosh, how are you looking at Paytm?
Yes, I'm looking the level of 440 because it tried multiple times to cross this level, but always failed. But if it managed to cross this level for 430, 440 zone, then we can expect a move towards 500, 550 kind of level. So it is in bottoming out process, but it has to cross the zone of 430 to 440.
Okay, Sakshi, again at 340 something, I had told you all the bad news is now into the system. Let's hope nothing worse comes out. Record losses, I think 500 crores for a quarter, then kicked out of one major index. Then before that, the RBI stopped all possible business. And fourthly, there was this news of one major business house having a conversation with Paytm to maybe buy a stake or maybe buy a whole company. Both Paytm and that business house denied it. And in the meantime, the 5% circuit limit changed to 10. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is the story of 197. And remember, the all-time high was, I think, 1950, less than the IPO price of 2150. But from then on to a journey of 342, amid all the pain. Let's see what happens. But उम्मीद पे दुनिया कायम है.
Okay, so that's Paytm for you. But let's also look at the other internet-based stocks. Some of them have been buzzing. Remember Mama Earth? It underwent a big block deal, I think, day before yesterday. That was buzzing. Nykaa was buzzing 2 or 3 trading
You
sessions
pay more
ago.
attention to these stocks.
Yeah. So,
Santosh ji, can you guess why Sakshi pays more attention to Honasa and Nykaa?
Yes, if we look at the chart of this both these stocks, they are not.
No. She uses the products.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't get your question. Sorry.
That's not a problem. We were trying to pull your leg.
Okay.
Sakshi.
बताइए कौन सा स्टॉक आपको पसंद है संतोष जी? इस इंटरनेट बेस्ड स्टॉक्स में से पेटीएम के साथ जाएंगे, जोमेटो, होनासा, नाइका, पॉलिसी बाजार, कौन सा स्टॉक पसंद है आपको?
If you ask me the one stock, then still I prefer Zomato. But still, another apart from Zomato, Honasa Consumer is also looking good. But once it will cross the level of 470, we can expect a positive momentum. It is consolidating but ready to move higher. So first will be Zomato and second will be Mamaearth, Honasa Consumer.
Okay. Santoshji, it's 27 minutes left for the market to shut down. Thank you so much for your wonderful conversation, and we'll remember all the stock ideas that you've suggested, and we look forward to welcoming you again. Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Okay. Good time as any to welcome Prashanth Tapse, Research Analyst and Senior Vice President for Research at Mehta Equities. Namaste Prashant ji.
वेरी गुड आफ्टरनून सर.
बताइए क्या हालचाल है बाजार में, क्या चल रहा है?
सर मार्केट्स में तो 400 पार होके एक बार तो मार्केट्स ने ऑल टाइम हाई फिर से मार रहा है, बट लॉट ऑफ एक्टिविटीज एंड लॉट ऑफ हेडलाइंस इन द मार्केट्स. If I just can I give you 2-3 points. One is the global economic points, like the inflation which are heading towards US and India, and then a lot of action is going on with the 100-day agenda in the markets of the new government. Again, markets are tracking the monsoon which has started right now. Again, fourth point would be the state elections which are headed very soon in the next 6 months, and the budget which is headed in next 1 month. So these are points what markets are tracking.
Okay, you know Sakshi, now it's absolutely clear why the Nifty is unable to go beyond 23,400. ये 400 पार बड़ा मुश्किल है. प्रशांत जी, आपने बिल्कुल क्या कहते हैं कील पे हथौड़ा मारा है. हम लोग 3 दिन से सोच रहे हैं ये क्यों नहीं जा रहा पार. ये अब समझ में आया, ये तो 400 पार का टोटका है. इसके लिए तो कुछ और करवाना पड़ेगा. अब बताइए.
बताइए. डायलॉग था कि 24,000 पार. आई एम वेटिंग फॉर दैट लाइन.
हाँ, मैं भी उसी का इंतजार कर रही हूँ क्योंकि मेरा था. उसके बाद इतने लोगों ने मुझे ट्रोल भी किया, फिर भी मैंने उनको कहा कि भरोसा रखिए 24,000 पार आएगा. फिर भी अब देखते हैं कितना जल्दी आएगा. आई थिंक बजट तक तो आ ही जाएगा.
पहले 23,400 के ऊपर एक बार क्लोज करवा लो. उसके बाद हम देखेंगे 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
यस.
और उसके बाद देखिए निफ्टी इज अ कंपाउंडर. लेट अस नॉट बी इन डाउट एवर दैट इट डज नॉट मैटर विच 50 कंपनीज आर अ पार्ट ऑफ द निफ्टी. द निफ्टी विल ऑलवेज कंपाउंड. सो हैव फेथ. 24 भी आएगा, 23,456 तो आएगा, 23,400 भी आएगा और 30,000 भी आएगा. इट इज ओनली अ मैटर ऑफ टाइम. So, you know, slightly the discussion has gone off topic, but like I said, have absolute faith and patience. The Indian economy will be a $10 trillion economy. The Indian market capitalization will always be a $10 trillion market capitalization from about 5 now. तो इसका मतलब 23 का 46 तो वैसे ही है धर्म का. अब उससे ऊपर जाएगा तो ये पता नहीं, लेकिन ये तो है ही है. तो ये बताइए प्रशांत जी, ये 23,400 कैसे आएगा? कौन से स्टॉक्स निफ्टी में मजबूत हैं और वैसे कौन से अच्छे लगते हैं आपको?
आई थिंक निफ्टी बेस में अगर स्टॉक देखते हैं तो एलएनटी मुझे अच्छा लग रहा है अभी भी. मतलब इन टर्म्स ऑफ द वे इट हैज फॉलन डाउन, और अभी जो नया हाई के आसपास उसने कंट्रीब्यूशन भी किया नहीं. मतलब आई थिंक 3800 to 3900 कैन बी इमीडिएट टारगेट फॉर एलएनटी. मतलब एक कंफर्टेबल जोन पे है और स्लो एंड स्टडी मोमेंटम भी कर रहा है. इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर फोकस भी है, एंड आई थिंक नेक्स्ट 100 डेज का जो एजेंडा है गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया का, नया गवर्नमेंट का, आई थिंक दे विल बी फोकसिंग लॉट ऑफ इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर प्रोजेक्ट्स.
Okay, got that. Prashant, let's get you to also give us your sense of the power space stocks which are buzzing in trade, like how today, be it the power producers, Coal India Power Grid, NTPC, distributors, financiers, they're again coming back in action. Where would you keep your focus, as Shell was pointing out that the power demand is consistently rising and therefore we do see a consistent move on this one. But where would you keep your fresh money in?
I think the PFCs and the RACs would be the two stocks one should focus on the power sector. These guys can make a better momentum from these levels also, and that they can deliver a good return for the investors from these levels also. I think you rightly said power sector has a high demand and it will continue to go forward again. It is not only summer which will have a peaker demand, but I think going forward the way how India is growing faster and there are a lot of urban development where power is the scarcity right now. I think that will create a lot of demand for power sector, and there are a lot of expansion plan going on from Tata Power, Adani Power, and other power stocks. So PFC and RSC would be two stocks which I am focusing on. A safety of margin is a lot of there in the stock.
Fair point. Now we have about 22 minutes of trade left. A bit of profit booking happening on Mahindra and Mahindra. Nothing, absolutely nothing to be worried about. 1.8% higher. This is one stock that has given supernormal returns within the Nifty. Let's look at pullers and draggers. It's just 54 points on the Nifty. Nevertheless, let's look at the winners and losers for today's contribution. Reliance, second day in a row, 12 points to Nifty's gain. L&T 10 points. Bharti at HDFC Bank, Power Grid about 7 points each. What's pulling the Nifty lower? Again, M&M. Infosys 10 points, rather surprising there. Hindustan Unilever 6 points. TCS, Axis Bank about 5 points each in negative territory. I just want to see what are the volume buzzers in Nifty today. That will give you an idea what traders are thinking in terms of where action is on the long side and where action is on the short side. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, no surprises. Tata Motors 1.16 times 5-day average. Remember, Tata is looking for a 30% share. Let me just get that data right. I'll just show you. And of course, commercial vehicle dispatches for the month of May are higher than a year ago number by a double-digit percentage. So you need to keep that in mind. HCL Tech Sakshi, this is a deal win, $278 million. L&T Mindtree, again these are all news based. 6 lakh shares have been traded on L&T Mindtree. The company set up an office in Riyadh in the Middle East. Asian Paints, this is very, very interesting. Mildly in the green, 2907. Prashantji, Asian Paints.
Technically, I think the level of 3,000 rupees is a hurdle for the stock for many months. Whenever it crosses the 3,000 as a level of technical support resistance, the stock goes into profit booking zone. On a fundamental level, again, I think crude is very much stable, and I think there are a lot of other corporates which are getting into painting sector, like even Jindal has entered into paint sector. So I think the volumes will be dry and very low in terms of quarter on quarter, but the stock has a resistance of 3,000. Once it closes above 3,000, there can be some upside, but I think the range would be 2,800 to 3,000 rupees.
Sakshi, we started the conversation early morning today on Om Infra.
Yeah.
This is a block deal that happened yesterday with Quant Mutual Fund picking up a substantial stake. The counter was up 7% yesterday and now up 18% in front of you, 157.24. We marked Tanla Platforms early morning, 4% higher, 958. Within the sugar space, another little known counter, Awadh Sugar is 3% higher. And of course, you have a record high on Exide Industries. The mojo coming back into Exide, Prashantji.
I think technically again Exide is doing great, but fundamentally I think a lot of battery as a business will be in demand going forward. The way how even Tata Motors and other EV companies have targeted to have a higher market share in the EV segment, the battery segment will be highly in demand. I think it can grow more than 15% what the industry average is growing right now. But Amar Raja battery as well as the Exide battery, the both stocks will be in action. My target would be around 580 and 600 levels on a technical basis. Fundamentally, I think the stock can deliver 15-20% CAGR for next 2-3 years.
Okay, so that's the entire battery space for you. Prashant, are you also looking at the new IPOs that are coming in into the EV space, Ola Electric? Are you waiting for that?
I think yes, everybody is waiting for that, but the question is the valuation again. We are waiting for the valuation and the ask for the investors. I think it will be on a premium side, but we have to wait and watch.
To wait and watch right now. Okay, but what about Tata Motors? Are you looking at the stock coming back above that 1000 mark? Brokerage houses now giving higher targets, especially after the company has highlighted that they want to increase their market share in the PV space to 16% by FY27 and to about 20% by FY30. Even on their EV division, they are looking at huge investments of about 16,000 odd crore rupees up until FY30. How are those news points going to be factored in the current levels that Tata Motors is trading at?
I think if you just go through 2-3 years back, the management has also given a confidence to get a cash-free, debt-free company by 2024, and they have proved it again. Yesterday in the analyst meet, they have also said they will be doing a net cash-free, net debt cash from the next financial year in the Jaguar as a company. I think the company is doing good in terms of their global market sales, as well as the CV sales, as well as the PV sales. And even the demerger is the next biggest trigger for the stock, which can do well. And fundamentally, yes, the company is still undervalued in the comparison with Maruti or M&M or any other automobile company. But this company can be a best-in-class company where you get all three kind of segments: CV, PV, and the EV segment. And with respect to technicals, again, 1100 can be a target for me for a 1 or 2 quarter period of time.
Okay, Sakshi, I'll just give you the data on automakers. The dispatches in the month of May were 3,47,000 units, up 4% over May 2023, when the number stood at 3,34,537. So this is that has to be kept in mind. Look at Maruti Suzuki, 1,44,000 units versus 1,43,708. Hyundai is unlisted, it doesn't matter. Look at Mahindra and Mahindra. It sold 43,218 units in the month of May versus 32,886 units. तो ये हुआ 11,000 ज़्यादा, 11 on 32. That's a 33% rise. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what you need to look at. Today the stock is correcting, but remember, M&M is the best performing Nifty stock over the last 5-6 months or so. I'll get you the right data. Meanwhile, Sakshi will take over.
Absolutely. Let's look at the gainers tally in trade today. There is Gravita India, about 15% higher. This is all within the broader market space. Elecon Engineering, already pointed out, 13.5% higher. Reliance Power has been consistently performing for the last 5 days on the hopes that the company is turned debt free, 10% higher in trade. Suntech Realty is up by 9.6%. IB Housing and Finance is up by about 8.7% again on the back of those news coming in on Awas Yojana of Prime Minister. Kirloskar Group is back in action, so Kirloskar Pneumatic is up by 6%. It's at a 52-week high. Of course, some of the other stocks that are buzzing, Kirloskar Brothers also from that same group, that's also buzzing in trade as well. Those are some of the other counters. Let me also pull out any if I can. You have stocks like Asian Granito, that's up by 9.2%. Hardly we talk about this stock, very rarely. Gravita India, I already discussed. You have also stocks like, let me put out, Dish TV is up in trade today. That's up about 11.5%. So those are some of the counters that are buzzing in the broader markets. Not taking a view, just marking prices right there for all our viewers. But it's the PSU banks that are back in action, and how the index is up by over 1.2% up in trade, and the stocks that are buzzing are Central Bank of India, almost 4% higher, Bank of Baroda 3% up, UCO Bank 2% higher, IOB, the outperformer, is up by 2%, Canara Bank, Bank of Maharashtra, the entire slew of stocks that are buzzing in trade. Within the PSU banks, Prashant, where are you keeping your focus on right now?
I think two stocks again, SBI and Bank of Baroda. These two stocks can be best-in-class PSU stocks. Focusing on the Q1 earnings, I think the numbers from SBI would be better than the street estimates. Again, 880 and 900 can be an immediate target for SBI. And with respect to Bank of Baroda, I think 300 can be a first target for Bank of Baroda in the first before the results are out. So both these stocks can do better in terms of expected Q1 earnings.
Okay. Sakshi, within the auto space, I'd like to again point out the two-wheeler space. Hero Motors and Bajaj Auto are at record highs. I think we need to look at Hero Motors a bit closely. Just 3-4 days ago, this was sub 5,000. Let me just get you this data. Prashanth ji, meantime, just can you comment on the long-term charts of Hero Motors, please?
I think they are breaking all the records historically and going towards bigger price lines. I think 6,000 can be immediate resistance for the stock, but fundamentally, yes, the things are going good. The volumes are rising. I think the way how the pyramid of the population is going towards the mid size of the pyramid, I think two-wheeler segment and the higher end two-wheeler bikes will be on demand. So Hero Honda and Bajaj Autos both are doing great in terms of high-end launches last 6 months back. So I think 6,000 can be a limited resistance for the stock, and 10,000 can be a limited resistance for Bajaj Auto. If they closes above this, I think we can see another 10-15% momentum for a short term.
Okay, so in this month, Sakshi, Hero Motors is up 18%.
Okay.
Let's come back to M&M. M&M is up 27%. And for the quarter, M&M is up 47% in the past 3 months. For 1 year, it's up 100%. So that's the rally that is coming in. But Hero Motors especially, this is again, ladies and gentlemen, the rural theme. Good monsoon, heavy expenditure by the government across rural India. One thing, please note, you cannot keep a 21-year-old guy away from a bike. He will buy it as soon as possible. ये आप मेरे से लिखवा लीजिए. That's the reason why you see this very sharp uptick in Hero Motors. They will have a blowout quarter in the festival demand before Diwali Dashera. Take it from me. And Sakshi, what's really interesting, for the last 10 years, two-wheeler demand has just gone up by 2% a year. So इसमें बहुत ज़्यादा एक वो spring बैठा हुआ है. So with that background in mind, ladies and gentlemen, any dip on two-wheelers is something that needs to be held for the long term as far as the stock of Hero Motors and Bajaj Motors is concerned. Sakshi.
Okay, there are two reports coming in or flashes coming in on Cogensis, so let me just highlight for all our viewers. This is from rating agencies, and ICRA has come out with a statement saying that they see moderate private sector capex from April to September period, and Indian companies could be dependent on offshore funds for large capital needs. However, on road construction space, they are seeing an increase of 5 to 8% in FY25, and which could be translated to 12,500 to 13,000 kilometers for FY25. So they're positive on the road construction space, and therefore we will look at all the infra-related and road-related stocks too. Let's also look at what Moody's has said. Moody's is commenting on the financial system of India. They're saying India's financial system credit quality is better, has become better in the past 3 to 4 years, and it has definitely improved. They also expect 12 to 14% loan growth over the next 12 to 15 odd months. So those are the statements coming in from Moody's and ICRA. I'm sure some more details will come in from that conference that they are speaking at, but this is for sure two positives, road construction as well as banking space. So let's get Prashanth to view where exactly would you keep your focus if the kind of promise that is coming in for the long term for these two sectors?
I think infrastructure and the road construction sector would be the focused area. I think in the first 100-day agenda, the road would be the highest focus sector. The IRB and Dilip Bilkon, these two stocks will be highly focused as investors also. We like IRB again. Yesterday there was a big block deal, and that was an opportunity for investors to grab those 10% downside from the yesterday's high. And even at this level, as a trader, again 62 can be a stop loss, and 75, 80 can be a near-term target for IRB.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we just have 8 minutes left in the market. forget 23,400, वो तो हमें अब समझ में आया क्यों पार नहीं हो रहा. यहाँ तो अब 23,300 के ऊपर बंद हो जाए. That's a fairly good expectation. Remember, we have India's inflation print for the month of May coming in at 5 p.m.
Yeah.
It's a very, very tough night overnight on Wall Street. Two major events. CPI for US is likely to come in at 0.1%. That in turn will influence the FOMC meet that is happening. There are hopes, ladies and gentlemen, that over the next 6 months we will see at least 2 rate cuts. ECB ने काट दिया है, कैनेडियन सेंट्रल बैंक ने काट दिया है, बस यूएस फेडरल रिजर्व एक बार कह दे कि भाई हम लोग देख रहे हैं, बस साक्षी उसी दिन आग लगेगी आईटी स्टॉक्स में, आप देख लेना. So with that background in mind, ladies and gentlemen, I'll again mark the Nifty IT index. Morning it was up 300 points. It's now flat. 34,526 right there in front of you. And again, it's been a low ticket size day. Nothing much has happened. Nifty's closed flat. Weekly in expiry on the Nifty Bank. 170 point ऊपर है, nothing there. And the top 4 traded counters, HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, Tata Motors, Reliance, Sakshi have moved between 0.1% and 0.4%. Flat trade.
Absolutely flat trade right now. Okay, just about 7 minutes to go. Any BTST, STBT trades that you'd like to suggest, Prashanth?
I think REC would be the stock where I'm focusing on BTST again with a target of 530 plus very soon for a BTST trade.
Okay, got that. Let's again look at the IT space again. Remember, this is the one that was buzzing, is now absolutely flat with the negative bias right now. Remember, in the morning trade, it was the top moving sectoral index, so it slipped from those highs again. And I was also pointing out in the morning that, you know, it's turning out to be a very unsustainable move in the IT space in the short term period. So Gaurang said, you know, you have to keep an eye out in the long term when you have to look at IT and not in the short term. So Prashanth, I'll come to you. IT space, लेना है या नहीं लेना है लोगों को?
I think one should start buying this very soon, because next 6 months के लिए I think all the downside negative is always discounted with respect to the order books which was slowed down. But I think the way how the bigger IT companies are getting orders for next 5 to 7 years contract, HCL Tech looks good for me at these levels again. I think that can also be something BTST call from my side for a technical stock. But again, as Sir said, with respect to the interest rate reduction in next 3 to 6 months, so I think IT stocks will be the best in class sector to be focused for next 3 to 6 months.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's just start wrapping up the markets. We have just 5 minutes left. So what is positive is that major indices apart from the Nifty and the Bank Nifty are closing with decent gains. They are the mid cap index, the small cap index, and the next Nifty 50, which essentially shows that the broader markets are happy. Small cap is up 1.2%, mid cap is up 1%, PSU banking index is up 1.1%. BSC 500 0.5% higher. These point to the broader happiness that we see across the board. Today, sugar has gone up and fertilizer has also gone up. Tomorrow will be the turn of defense as well as PSU banks. They are quiet today. So this is the sectoral rotation that is happening, and all agri related stocks, agri related themes are doing extremely well in the market. Very simple. July 8th most probably is the day of the annual budget. So between then and now, you will see this hectic activity on fertilizer, sugar, paper. All these agri related themes will do extremely well. IT started out very well, but it sort of fizzled out, and all of us will be awake to hear what the US Fed Chair Mr. Jeremy Powell will be speaking at 12 midnight on his outlook of interest rates. Entire global equity market is in a risk of mode section.
Absolutely. So we will continue to keep an eye out on it, and probably that is one reason why markets are seeing pressure at higher levels, and people are booking out some profits to save from any kind of uncertain news that may actually come in from the macro data, either inflation or maybe US Fed.
Why don't you check the European markets?
Yeah, let's see.
Nothing there. Nothing.
So वही है अभी like people will be very very cautious ahead of it. It's tomorrow that probably if we see a dovish stance of the Fed and an indication of maybe if not now but in the next meeting some kind of a hint of a rate cycle reversal coming in, that's when the markets could probably be looking at the newer themes, newer bets, newer ideas coming into shape after that long haul of stability at the higher for longer side on the rate front and a hike before that. And of course, any clear indication on a ruling out of a rate hike would be also positive in case that also comes from the
rate
Fed.
hike?
Ruling out. Any ruling out of the rate hike. That's what I think only if that happens then, yeah, for sure.
बस आप कहलवा दीजिए एक रेट कट बिफोर क्रिसमस क्रिसमस हम कल ही मना लेंगे.
That's very true. That's very true.
Ladies and gentlemen, 2 minutes left. Let's pay attention to what Prashanth's thoughts are. हम लोग तो वही रेट पढ़ पढ़ के बोर हो गए, कुछ नहीं हो रहा बाजार में. प्रशांत जी,
मुझे लगता है टेलीकॉम स्टॉक्स को हम मतलब we should focus more on now. I think the way our idea has got FPO of 18,000 crores plus बैंक ने भी उनको almost 14,000 करोड़ दे दिया है. तो अभी सिर्फ एग्जीक्यूशन ही बाकी है. 16 रुपए तक आ चुका है. Very smartly it has moved from 13 rupees to 16 rupees without making a lot of noise. I think the same way it will go to 18 to 20 rupees without making any noise again. I think that the way how they have expressed their expansion with respect to 4G and 5G, the stock is good to take risk at this level also.
okay, that's a wonderful discussion to have in the last 1 minute. Sakshi, because of holidays, a lot of overseas plans are being sold in telecom, and of course we had the IPL and we have the World Cup 2020, so a lot of data is being consumed. So these two threads are driving the entire telecom universe higher during June, and of course as Prashanth rightly pointed out, Idea has had a series of good news. Just today a 14,000 crore loan consortium managed by the SBI is being given to Idea. So very well point taken Prashant ji. Idea Cellular अब कब 20 जाएगा ये तो पता नहीं, लेकिन 13 ना जाए बस वही गनीमत है.
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you so much, Prashanth, for being with us on this edition. We'll wrap it up at that. The closing screen is 23,308. Shell, you can celebrate. At least we've closed above that. 43 points on the green, 0.2% higher. 49,800 and above that for the Nifty Bank, about a 95 points higher. But we've slipped from the day's high point for sure. But we're still holding on to those crucial levels. Barring the FMCG index, rest of them have managed to pull themselves into the green. Flat absolutely for the auto, IT. Realty also just about flat with a positive bias, so is the pharma index. But what's top moving index today? It's the media stocks, 2% higher for the media index. Broader markets shine bright, 1.2% higher for the small caps, 1% higher for the mid caps. PSU banks up by over 1%. Oil and gas, infrastructure, financial services and metals, these were the top order of the sectoral movers. Among the top movers on the Nifty, you have Coal India 2.8% higher, Power Grid up by 2.6%, Eicher Motors, SBI Life, Tech Mahindra and Shriram Finance as among the top movers on the Nifty. On the downside, M&M, Britannia, HUL, Tata Consumer Products, Titan, Axis Bank and Divis Laboratories are those which dragged as well. But in the public sector space, it is the index closed higher by 1.4%. So a strong move within the PSU stocks today. Concord leading the gains, 5% higher. NMDC, Coal India, Power Grid, GAIL, Oil India, Bharat Electronics, so defense, oil and gas, energy, those were the key stocks, and railways. These were the stocks that actually garnered all the attention. With that, viewers, we wrap it up at that, but do stay tuned on to Business Today as more action continues on your screens. With that, it's a goodbye for now from both Shell and me.
I think for us the role of India, the influence of India, that has been steadily growing, not just in terms of our own perception, but अगर आप देखें दूसरे देश हमारे बारे में क्या कहते हैं, उनको भी लगता है कि आज भारत जो है सचमुच उनका मित्र है। उन्होंने देखा है कि संकट के समय में कि अगर एक देश ग्लोबल साउथ के साथ खड़ा है तो वो भारत है। उन्होंने देखा है कि जब G20 की अध्यक्षता के समय में हम लोगों ने अफ्रीकन यूनियन की सदस्यता को आगे किया था तो दुनिया हम पर विश्वास करती है और हमारी जिम्मेदारियां भी बढ़ रही हैं। तो हमें विश्वास है कि मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में भारत की जो पहचान जो है दुनिया में वो बढ़ेगी जरूर। और UNSC का सवाल आपने उठाया, पर उसके अलग अलग और भी पहलू हैं और मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि उनके नेतृत्व में मोदी 3.0 की विदेश नीति जो है बहुत सफल होगी। मुझे लगता है कि किसी भी देश में और खासकर डेमोक्रेसीज में एक सरकार को लगातार 3 बार इलेक्ट होना यह बहुत बड़ी बात है। तो दुनिया को जरूर लगेगा कि आज भारत में पॉलिटिकल स्टेबिलिटी बहुत है। भारत की पब्लिक जो है अपने प्रधानमंत्री पे बहुत विश्वास करती है और अभी तक पिछले 10 साल में जो उन्होंने हमारा रिकॉर्ड देखा है तो उनको भी पता होगा कि हम सचमुच हमारी कोशिश है कि दुनिया के साथ हम अपने हित तो जरूर आगे रखेंगे, पर जो हमारा योगदान होगा वो उसमें भी हम कहीं कम नहीं पड़ेंगे। और जो आपने पाकिस्तान और चाइना के बारे में कहा, वो अलग देश हैं, रिश्ते भी कुछ अलग हैं, वहाँ जो समस्या जो है वो भी कुछ अलग है। तो चीन के बारे में हमारी फोकस तो होगी कि सीमा में जो स्थिति जो है उसमें अभी भी कुछ इश्यूज बाकी बचे हुए हैं, तो उसको कैसे निपटाया जाए। और पाकिस्तान के साथ ये भी आप जानते हैं कि विषय जो है सालों से वो
नमस्कार, आप देख रहे हैं बिजनेस टुडे बाज़ार। तो बाज़ार की शुरुआत आज सुस्त हुई, उसके बाद बाज़ार ने ऑल टाइम हाई लगाया। 23,441 के लेवल पर नया हाई बनता हुआ दिखा। मार्केट हाई लेवल से कंसोलिडेट होती हुई दिखी। मिड कैप में शानदार तेज़ी देखने को मिली और ख़ासकर शाम को फेड का जो इंस्टांस है वो काफ़ी क्या डबिश रह सकता है, ये समझने की कोशिश करेंगे। अगर ऐसा होता है तो बाज़ार में एक नया एक्शन देखने को मिलेगा। और साथ ही आज अगर आप निफ्टी और बैंक निफ्टी को देखें तो दोनों ही सपोर्ट लेवल से घूमते हुए देखें। यहाँ पर निफ्टी को देखें तो करीब 23,300 और बैंक निफ्टी को देखें तो 49,700 के लेवल से बाज़ार फिर से घूम गया है। सरकारी कंपनियों में अच्छी तेज़ी देखने को मिली। डेरिवेटिव्स को देखें तो 23,500 की कॉल और 23,000 की पुट पर सबसे ज़्यादा ओपन इंटरेस्ट देखने को मिला। बैंक निफ्टी की अगर बात करें तो वीकली एक्सपायरी के दिन करीब 50,000 की पुट पर करीब 70 लाख शेयर और कॉल पर 1,10 लाख शेयर देखने को मिले हैं। अब बाज़ार के पूरे पर्सपेक्टिव को समझने के लिए कि बाज़ार में अब आगे क्या हो सकता है, कौन से ऐसे ट्रिगर्स हैं जिन पर ध्यान रखना चाहिए, कल किस तरीके की स्थिति रह सकती है, तमाम पहलुओं पर चर्चा करने के लिए हमारे साथ है सोनम श्रीवास्तव जी, जो कि फाउंडर हैं एंड फंड मैनेजर राइट रिसर्च की। मैम, बहुत बहुत स्वागत है आपका बिजनेस टुडे बाज़ार पे। तो हम लोग एक बार मैम यहाँ पर मैं सबसे पहला सवाल आपसे ये रहेगा कि बाज़ार ने आज नया हाई लगाया, उसके बाद बाज़ार का जो रिस्पांस था ठंडा, शुरुआत में भी ठंडा रहा, हाई लगा के फिर एकदम ठंडा देखने को मिला है इस रिस्पांस। बाज़ार की स्थिति आपको क्या दिख रही है मौजूदा वक्त में और किस तरीके से आगे बाज़ार की सिचुएशन रह सकती है?
बिल्कुल, देखिए आज का मूवमेंट काफ़ी इंटरेस्टिंग था, जहाँ पे निफ्टी में सेंसेक्स में ज़रूर थोड़ी बढ़ावत के बाद करेक्शन आया, लेकिन अगर आप ब्रॉडर मार्केट में जैसे आपने बोला इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग, PSU और बहुत ऐसे सेगमेंट हैं, मीडिया, जो काफ़ी अच्छा जहाँ परफॉर्मेंस रही है मिड कैप एंड स्मॉल कैप, मतलब जो ब्रॉडर मार्केट है वहाँ तो अच्छी बढ़त चली रही है। तो हमारे ख्याल से देखिए टॉप पे बहुत मार्केट अपने टॉप पे थोड़ा स्ट्रगल कर रहा है, वो एक बहुत ही क्रूशियल रेजिस्टेंस का लेवल रहता है। बट हमें लगता है कि जो इंडिया की ग्रोथ प्रोजेक्शंस हैं और जो भी स्टेबल गवर्नमेंट बन के आई है उस वजह से बहुत ही जल्द हम ऑल टाइम हाई भी तोड़ेंगे।
ठीक है मैम। अच्छा मैम, एक चीज़ बताइए, पिछले, क्योंकि एक डाटा था काफ़ी इंटरेस्टिंग, मुझे लगा अपने व्यूअर्स के साथ भी साझा करना चाहिए ताकि आपसे और क्लैरिटी ले सके। पिछले मंगलवार यानी कि 4 जून को जब नतीजे आए थे, उस दिन पीएससी इंडेक्स जो था वो करीब 16% नीचे था। अब पूरे एक हफ्ते बाद हमने देखा कि ये करीब 12% ऊपर चढ़ चुका है, और इसमें जो टॉप गिनर रहा है वो भेल रहा है यहाँ पे, यानी कि 12% की तेज़ी के साथ भेल सबसे ऊपर रहा है टॉप गिनर, और कॉनको सेकंड नंबर पे रहा है। अब आप इस पूरे इंडेक्स के हिसाब से कहें या फिर पूरे नज़रिए के 3.0 के हिसाब से देखें तो इस सेक्टर को किस तरीके से देख रहे हैं, और अगर आपकी कोई स्टॉक पिक्स हो यहाँ पर?
नहीं देखिए, ये तो पूरा पीएसयू स्टॉक्स में थोड़ा स्पेकुलेटिव मूवमेंट आया था, क्योंकि इसमें से बहुत सारे स्टॉक होते हैं, जैसे आपने कॉनकॉर्ड का नाम दिया जो आपका रेलवे सेगमेंट में आता है, डिफेंस सेगमेंट में आता है, उसको लोग मोदी स्टॉक्स के नाम पे कैटेगराइज करते हैं। तो उसमें काफ़ी ज़्यादा बढ़त हो गई थी रिजल्ट्स के पहले, और इसीलिए रिजल्ट के दिन पे काफ़ी शार्प करेक्शन था। अब हम वहाँ पे अच्छी रिकवरी भी देख रहे हैं, हमें लगता है बहुत ही जल्द वहाँ पे अच्छी रिकवरी होगी, और आई थिंक इसका जो डायरेक्शन होगा वो बहुत ज़्यादा आई थिंक अगले बजट पे डिपेंड करेगा। अगर गवर्नमेंट इस बजट में जो जुलाई में अनाउंस होने वाला है इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर में स्पेंडिंग बरकरार रखती है तो ज़रूर ये स्टॉक बढ़ेंगे, लेकिन अगर मान लीजिए फोकस रूरल एरिया में शिफ्ट हो जाता है तो वहाँ पे हमको कुछ अलग इंटरेस्टिंग स्टॉक दिखेंगे। तो मुझे लगता है ये रिकवरी तो बहुत ज़रूर होगी। इस गवर्नमेंट का फोकस इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में चलता रहेगा, तो
जी
बिल्कुल।
ठीक है। तो जो भी व्यूअर्स हमारे साथ जुड़ रहे हैं, आपसे गुजारिश है कि अपने सवाल आप भेजें, और ताकि हम मैम से आपके सवालों के जवाब ले सकें। लेकिन इसके साथ ही मैम मैं एक चीज़ और पूछना चाहूँगा, सुबह निफ्टी आईटी जो था वो अच्छे लेवल पर था, हम लोग देख रहे थे तेज़ी रही थी यहाँ पर, लेकिन वो सस्टेन नहीं हो पाई। हम लोग अगर देखें पीछे, ईसीबी ने भी दरें 0.25% घटाई हैं, आज शाम को फेड का स्टांस आना है, आप कैसे देख रहे हैं दोनों चीज़ों को मिला के देखा जाए तो?
नहीं देखिए, बिल्कुल ये आईटी स्टॉक्स का जो मूवमेंट है ये पूरा ग्लोबल सिनेरियो पे डिपेंड करता है। ईसीबी का रेट कट होना करना बहुत बड़ा क्यों था, लेकिन आईटी सेक्टर वैसे तो डायरेक्ट रेट से इम्पैक्ट नहीं पड़ेगा। आईटी सेक्टर पे इम्पैक्ट तब पड़ेगा जब उनका डील फ्लो बहुत बढ़ जाएगा, वहाँ पे एक्चुअली ग्लोबल मार्केट में ग्रोथ वापस आ जाएगी। तो इसीलिए आईटी सेक्टर काफ़ी उस पर डिपेंडेंट है ग्लोबल डेटा पे, और मेरे ख्याल से जो रिकवरी है वो थोड़ी और एक्सटेंडेड हो सकती है।
ठीक है। तो अभी अगर हम लोग देखें बाज़ार की स्थिति यहाँ पर, तो मैम यहाँ पे तो आज जो हम लोग ने देखे कि 23,323 के आसपास यहाँ पे क्लोजिंग होती हुई दिखी है। ठीक है, अभी हम इसको आखिरी में पूछेंगे आपसे कि भाई बाज़ार की स्थिति कल किस तरीके के रह सकती है, लेकिन आप सवाल जवाब का सिलसिला शुरू करते हैं। तो सबसे पहले अवधेश ठाकुर का सवाल लेते हैं। मैम, राजधानी मेटल्स पर पूछ रहे हैं आपसे 1 साल से 5 साल का व्यू। अवधेश ठाकुर।
ओके, राजधानी मेटल्स।
जी।
राजधानी मेटल्स ये स्टॉक आई थिंक काफ़ी छोटा स्टॉक है, तो
अच्छा।
ये हम आई थिंक कवर तो नहीं किया है मैंने
जी।
बट मेटल सेगमेंट से जैसे हम जानते हैं। अच्छा नहीं, ये राजनंदिनी मेटल्स नाम का स्टॉक है। तो हाँ देखिए, ये काफ़ी छोटा स्टॉक है, इसमें कुछ टाइम से कंसोलिडेशन चल रहा है। 2024 की शुरुआत में अच्छी ग्रोथ आई है। हमारे ख्याल से देखिए मेटल सेगमेंट ज़रूर गेन करेगा अगर जो रिकवरी होगी अपनी इकॉनमी की और ग्लोबल इकॉनमी की, इसीलिए हम क्वांटिटी प्राइस बढ़ते देख रहे हैं। बट ये काफ़ी छोटा स्टॉक है, 300 करोड़ की मार्केट कैप है।
बिल्कुल 10 रुपए के आसपास ट्रेड कर रहा है ये स्टॉक। बिल्कुल।
हाँ
जी।
तो इसमें थोड़ा मतलब ब्रॉडर ट्रेंड की स्पेसिफिक ट्रेंड की वजह से भी मूवमेंट आ सकता है। मैं कहूँगा उनको केयरफुल रहना चाहिए।
जी, ऐसे स्टॉक्स में, छोटे स्टॉक्स में केयरफुल रहना चाहिए, क्योंकि कब ये तेज़ी से नीचे जाते हैं तो पता भी नहीं चलता। ठीक है, राखी सैनी का सवाल है मैम यहाँ पर JBM ऑटो पर। और साथ ही वो पूछना चाहते हैं कि कोई रियल एस्टेट स्टॉक्स में क्या कोई सजेशन रहेगा, क्योंकि पीछे में अभी देखा हमने मोदी सरकार की तरफ से 3 करोड़ जो घर बनाने के लेकर बात की गई और हुडको में भी तेज़ी देखने को मिली है, और भी बहुत सारे, क्योंकि देखिए ये ओवरऑल सेक्टर सबसे जुड़ा हुआ है, सीमेंट है, मेटल्स हैं, इंफ्रा, मतलब ओवरऑल होता है। तो यहाँ पर राखी जी के सवाल को जोड़ते हैं मैम, एक तो JBM ऑटो के ऊपर और रियल एस्टेट सेक्टर में कोई अगर आपकी पिक हो तो।
नहीं, JBM ऑटो तो एक बहुत ही स्ट्रॉन्ग स्टॉक है जो पिछले